The Battle of Fallen Timbers fought on August 20th, 1794, near where Joy and I live now, in Toledo, Ohio. It resulted in a victory for the United States led by General Anthony Wayne against a confederation of Native American tribes, effectively ending the Northwest Indian War and opening the Northwest Territory for westward expansion. So here's a little detailed look on the Battle of Fallen Timbers. The battle was a culmination of the Northwest Indian War. So that conflict between the United States and the Native American tribes allied with the British over control of the Northwest Territory. But the thing is, the British weren't completely honest. The battle took place near the Mumzy River in northwestern Ohio, in an area where trees had been felled by a tornado, hence the name Fallen Timbers. General Anthony Wayne led the United States Army while the Native American forces were a confederation of tribes. That included the Shawnee, the Miami, and others. The outcome of the war, the United States Army, under Wayne's command, achieved a victory, routing the Native American forces and effectively ending the Northwest Indian War. The problem is, the British gave the Native Americans weapons to fight the United States. But when it came time for them to have their back, well, let's just say they kind of became cowards and just kind of sat there and let the United States take over. The victory of Fallen Timbers opened the Northwest Territory for westward expansion and led to the signing of the Treaty of Greenville in 1795, which ceded much of the present-day Ohio to the United States. The battle is considered a significant event in the development of the United States. It marks the end of a long period of Indian warfare and paved the way for westward expansion. The site of the battle, which is now a park managed by the Metropolitan Park District of the Toledo area, is where visitors can learn about the battle and its significance. General Anthony Wayne, also known as Mad Anthony, led the United States Army to victory at the Battle of Timbers. So I decided to go there during the day to do some kind of paranormal pre-recon, just to kind of see if I could pick up on any vibes or maybe have any conversations with any Native Americans or soldiers that had been on the site. I think it's pretty interesting for people to learn more about this battle and the significance of this battle, because I think a lot of the times things that do go on in our state or even our city that we live in, we're unaware of. So it's pretty cool that they came up with this memorial that people could learn about this actual battle that took place here. So join me on this adventure and let's see if we can get any information, and maybe we can come back and do this as a nightly investigation.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to another haunted adventure. My name is Suga. Do me a solid, if you're not yet subscribed, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and follow us along for some really cool paranormal adventures. So today I'm excited because I've always wanted to investigate a battlefield. Now, where I'm located now in Ohio and where I'm from, Wisconsin, there aren't a lot of battlefield location sites. A lot of those tend to be when you go down south, things like Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, things like that. But I did find one in Ohio. So this is the Battle of Fallen Timbers. So this is the Fallen Timbers. It's a national memorial park. Pretty cool. You got some of the historical information, obviously, before I popped on here. That way, when we start walking through the park, you'll kind of know what we're looking at. So I'm about ready to head out. We're going to try to find some of these locations, see if we get any hits during the day. There have been some people that have gotten some activity at night, so we are going to come back here at night. We're going to do a little bit of a ghost recon during the day. So that's the exciting part. I am one of those firm believers, if it's haunted during the day, it's haunted at night, vice versa. I just think that a lot of people do investigations at night because it does give a creepier effect. And then they do have, the 3 a.m., things like that, 12 a.m., energy from the moon, more activity from the spirits. I don't know. Whatever. I like doing it at night because I like the creep factor. But when it comes to a place like this is pretty large, so I just want to make sure that I kind of know where we're going, so when we come back, we're not lost walking around forever. The trail's about 1.5 miles, something like that, but I just want to look for the specific locations of like where the battle was, where the Native American, I believe it was Turkey Foot Rock, I believe is what it was called. So I just want to kind of take a look at certain areas and see what I can get. So with that being said, let's go get them. I have very minimal equipment with me today, so I guess I just want to see if we get something on the spirit box, or like I said, just kind of take a tour, see what we're looking at for the future when we do come in here. This is the sign, Fallen Timbers Battlefield Visitor Center. Not too far from my house. Battle of Fallen Timbers, Ohio, historical marker. Battle of Fallen Timbers, fought on August 20th, 1794. Pretty cool. Let's see, actually, let's read some more stuff on here. So we got General Mad Anthony Wayne. Let's see, Miami Chief Little Turtle and Shawnee War Chief Blue Jacket. Defeat in battle and lack of help from their nearby British allies. Now it's pretty interesting because where I'm from, we have like Potawatomi. So they do have some of the tribes were the Potawatomi, the Ottawa. What was the other ones? I forgot already. But it's pretty cool that we share some of the same tribes. There's some air if you need some air. So I guess let's see if we can find one of these. It is only, I'll tell you, like 38 degrees, so it's a little chilly. Can't say I'm really dressed for the occasion, so I'm gonna freeze my butt off today, and that's fine. All right, so it looks like we are here. Then there's a bridge, so I think we're gonna go right. The battle line, the down timber node, and then the Western Confederacy line and down timbered area. I think these are gonna be the areas we're gonna focus on right here. So we want to get to the down timber node at some point. This is the Battle of Fallen Timbers, fought here in 1794, played an important role in the history of the United States and the opening of the northwest frontier. It resulted in the displacement of American Indian tribes, a loss of colonial territory for the British, and eventually Ohio becoming a state. Archaeological digs have unearthed artifacts that have confirmed the locations of the events surrounding the Battle of Fallen Timbers and Fort Miami's. So I just ran into a woman on the trail, and she said that this place is huge with Native American history. So Mumzy's gonna love to come here. So I'm definitely gonna save it for when they come here. Maybe me and my honey might do a little night recon, see if we get anything. But we'll do the big investigation when Mumzy and Fashja come here, because she's gonna love it. Plus, it'll be a lot nicer then too, hopefully, because it's cold. Kind of crazy to think that I'm like literally walking in a spot where there was a large battle. That's crazy. It's just like, you try to picture like all the soldiers here and stuff and what they would have been doing, or what trees they would have been hiding behind, or I don't know. It's so cool. I always wanted to do this. Fair negotiations. After the American Revolution, the arrival of more settlers in the Ohio country threatened the fragile peace between native nations, the British and the United States. Land boundaries were set between the British and the U.S. at the Treaty of Paris in 1783. I remember that from school. However, native nations were excluded from these negotiations. In the years preceding the Battle of Fallen Timbers, further international councils were called, but peace could not be achieved. So, they just got these little trails here. And like we looked on their map, there were sections. So I'm just going to stay, like I said, in the right side of the circle. I think that would be the best way to do it. Some pretty greenage over there. Tell you, because it's so cold, my battery's not going to last long out here with my cell phone. My port seems to be going bad in my phone, so I can't use a charger on it. But we'll see what we can get done and see if we get any cool responses on the spirit box. 185 dead. St. Clair's defeat, 630. Worst American defeat at the hands of natives. 97.9% casualty rate. Confident after defeating the British in the Revolutionary War, the U.S. stood little chance of success after against the better ordered Western Confederacy forces. As a result, the well-organized natives led by Little Turtle and Blue Jacket defeated soldiers led by General Harmer in 1790 and General St. Clair in 1791. So, clearly the natives gave them a run for their money. I mean, they were here first, and I don't blame them. I would have did the same thing. I think anybody would have. I was here first, and now you're just kind of trying to come and take my home. I mean, I don't know. It's a sad part of history. We have a lot of sad parts of history, to be honest. I don't know. Because somebody was different, and they wanted to come take their spot. Instead of cohabitating and being nice with each other, war breaks out. It seems to happen all the time. It happens now, still to today. All the wars and not getting along, and I want this and I want that. Instead of working together as a team and sharing and be a happy world, nope, we can't do that. We have to do away with people. I'm gonna say it like that. It's just sad. It's sad. I don't know what happened. I don't understand the world at all. George Washington right there, following the disastrous defeats of U.S. Generals Harmer and St. Clair at the Western Confederacy, President George Washington recalled Anthony Wayne from retirement to lead a new U.S. fighting force. Over the course of 2 years, General Wayne trained and marched 3,500 men, 2,000 legionnaires, and 1,500 militia to northwest Ohio. Well, those were some of the actual Native American tribes. We're actually coming up on the bridge right now, where some people have done some EVPs sessions, or where some people have got some EVPs. They've done Estes method sessions. They've done a whole bunch of stuff. It says along the way, Wayne's army built supply depots and forts and engaged in significant skirmish with the Western Confederacy at Fort Recovery. He eventually reached Roche de Boot. I don't know. It looks like roundabout. Where he built Camp Deposit on the Maumee River. The British were keenly interested in Wayne's movements. To hinder his progress, they built Fort Miamis in modern-day Maumee. This fort would later play a role in both the Battle of Fallen Timbers and the War of 1812. Now, I remember that war from school. It's kind of like getting a history lesson all over again. I remember some of these wars. Not this actual battle right here, but the War of 1812. I remember those things in school. I just got kisses from some puppies. As y'all don't know, I'm allergic to saliva of dogs. So, a little itchy right now. But, if you see a welt or two, that's why I don't. I didn't contract something from the forest. So I came to an area that's right next to the bridge. We're going to read the signs in a second. It kind of looks like a little ravine, like a mini ravine. So I don't think I'm going to do a spirit box there. I think I'm going to do it right here, because obviously that bridge was not here, let's be real, back then. So I think this would be the best place to put it. That way if people are walking their dogs, they'll just kind of go right past us. We do have some contamination though, so at night we're going to have the highway contamination back here. Probably not as much at night, or still the same obviously, because of people, because of the truck drivers, things like that. But that's probably going to be the only contamination that we're going to have at night, is really going to be that highway. But at least we know ghosts don't sound like semi-drivers. The trucks anyway. So this is cover and camouflage. I knew this was going to be the right spot to pick. You see how this little water's running through this ravine here, and we're kind of up, and it went over to there. The natural land features and geography of the land played a major role in determining the battle strategy for both forces. This, combined with the thick forests and down timber caused by a tornado, was a landscape that favored the Western Confederacy's fighting style. Utilizing the dense forest as cover, the native warriors were well camouflaged while waiting for Wayne's legion. And there's the little ravine, I call it. Prepare for battle, warriors from the Western Confederacy followed a fasting ritual. An unexpected 2-day wait caused by General Wayne's construction of Camp Deposit left the warriors famished and dehydrated. On the morning of the battle, Wayne's troops were further delayed by a morning thunderstorm. Some of the warriors left the front lines to check on their families and find food, not knowing when the first shots would be fired. When the battle finally took place, it lasted less than 2 hours and involved over 3,000 people. So they do reenactments and stuff here, which is pretty cool. So we do have people walking around here today. I kind of want to just start out and see if we get any EVPs. It might be a little difficult because of the noise with the highway. Brought my little handy dandy pouch to carry all my stuff in. So we're going to turn this on. See if we get anything exciting. I really hate all the traffic here. It's definitely going to pose an issue when we do come back here. Alright, we'll give it a try. We got some people over there. They're not talking, they're pretty quiet. So they just came over here by me and they weren't saying anything. Hello, my name is Suga, and I came here to the battlefield to see if there were any spirits here that wanted to talk about the battle. Any Native Americans from the tribes, the Maumee, the Potawatomi, anybody that wants to say hi, any soldiers, please join me up on top of this little mini ravine and let's have a little conversation and become friends. Can you tell me your name? It's going to be a little hard to hear you with my own voice. Or it's going to be a little hard to hear you with my own ears. But I did bring a device that would make it a little easier for me to hear you. So you can come right next to me. I don't mean any harm. Just coming to get to know you a little bit. Now, I didn't hear anything on that, but again, I got a lot of contamination around me. So until I can listen to the headphones, I still give you guys a little listen in case you hear something I didn't. We'll try another one. Again, I don't want you to be scared of me. My name is Suga. Are there any soldiers or Native Americans that want to come talk to me? I would love to get to know you. I want to know a little bit about the history in this location, or if you are still here to have a name to go with my new friend. If you could tell me your name or anything that describes the battle here, or what you may have been doing. Maybe your rank in the military? I'm doing short ones because it's a lot easier to kind of go back and listen to them. Nothing yet. Maybe we'll make our way over to the bridge. Maybe they like to hang out there. I don't know. Again, I'm only going to go so far in the park because I feel like, I don't know, like the rest of it, I don't know. I don't know how many people would have been over there. Exactly, not really sure. I'm not from Ohio, so I don't really know where the river is from here. I didn't see it on the map. And there is another site, I guess, where, because they fought on both sides of the river. Now we're on the bridge. We'll see if we get any luck here. Okay, I moved on to the bridge now. Maybe this is a good spot. Everybody can just come here and join me on the bridge if anybody wants to talk. Again, I have a device you can speak into. It's a recorder. They probably weren't that small when you had recorders, but that's all it is. It won't harm you. It just helps me hear you a little better. Does anybody want to say hello? So loud. See semis. Nothing yet. Maybe it's because I'm holding the device. I can set this right here and back away. You don't have to be scared. I'll move way down here. Move over ahead and sneak into that. Not gonna hurt you. No difference. Now, I could see like Native American spirits kind of getting really leery with that device because they didn't have that technology like a lot of the soldiers did, because they probably would have had recordings. I don't know about back in the 1700s. I don't even know when the recorder was invented, but they had, you know, like guns and things like that. So I could see some Native Americans being a little standoffish, a little shy. I also could see like myself being a soldier and the Native Americans. We would probably, if we were investigating here, we probably would hear maybe a war cry or something from them from afar, but I don't know how close they would actually get to us. Because if it was like that with us at Aztec, they would get really close to us. But I can see a soldier maybe walking up here. Thank you for communicating if you did. Alright, let's see if we got anything. I can hear myself whispering in the background. I don't know if that was the best idea. Because if something does say something, I don't... You know, I'm going to be able to distinguish myself from them. So I think I'm going to, after this runner goes past, I think I'm going to just set it there and not say anything. Thank you. Like, just say a little, you know, I'm just going to set it there, see if you want to say something, and then just not say anything at all. Alright, so we're going to hit record, and we're just going to sit back and watch. See if anything happens. I'm going to set the device here again. Talk into that if you'd like. I'm going to go way over here. It's fucking cold. Give it a listen. Nothing. You know, we'll try the other section. I don't know, but I feel like this would have been a really active spot in the war. I don't know why I feel that way. I think it's just because of the ravine and them saying that they had really good coverage and camouflage. I don't know. That's just me. I could be wrong. Just try the other location up here because maybe we try the spirit box there. But I think when we come here, it's definitely going to be this bridge. And it's definitely going to be the other location that we'll try. I think at night, this place might be a hotbed. I think there's just too many people going around it. And I think that if it was really quiet during the day, it probably would be a hotbed for activity as well. But I just think that because there's so many people walking the dogs, running around, I think it's definitely going to be a lot better at night. It's definitely going to be creepy at night. Well, the woods. The nice thing is you don't have to worry about all the animals and stuff in here because it's like a park. You know, it's in the middle of the city pretty much, right by the highway. And they just left all of this foliage and all of these trees because they wanted to actual like preserve the battlefield. So you just got to do it when it's warmer. Because Mumzy's not going to be sitting out here. Neither is Joey. It's cold, but you know me and Fashja, we will stay out here. But We gotta make sure that it's warm enough for the ladies. I don't know about y'all, but coming up on this area, it's like you'd have been a sitting duck. I'm sure there were probably more trees in this area maybe then, but I'm not sure. I am gonna be walking around the whole way though. Just to kind of look, because I think it'd be cool if we separated here at different sides of the park. Alright, so they got the battle begins August 20th, 1799. Okay, so in this photo, the Native American does have a gun. So Wayne's advanced units of scouts and militia collided with the Native Confederacy position in the dense forest. In a fierce flight, the U.S. forces were driven back to the main columns of the Legion. Under the cover provided by the advanced units, the Americans expanded in a wide front in battle formations. Throughout this process, the natives used fallen trees in the landscape to exchange gunfire with the Americans. So they did have guns. I'm wondering if at this point they had gotten them from fallen soldiers, maybe? Some more photos. And these are, again, from the reenactments. Battle lines drawn. Legion forces 2,000. 1,500 mounted. Native forces only 1,300. The Western Alliance faced a more affordable foe at the Battle of Fallen Timbers, although losses were equal on both sides. Rumors of 8 slain chiefs discouraged the Western Confederacy. They retreated to where Swan Creek meets the Maumee River. As their opponents fled to safety, Wayne's troops regrouped and collected their wounded. So Wayne's losses numbered between 22 and 33 killed, with 85 to 100 wounded. I mean, that's pretty decent, considering, you know, they didn't have like all of the guns, I guess, and weapons that they had. I wonder what all those sticks are over there. I will say that this area is very serene. Like, it's very quiet. I definitely think us splitting up here would be really great, because we could have somebody at the bridge, we could have somebody over here, somebody on the other side. Maybe we could put Joy and Mumzy over there in that big open area that we're gonna see, and just see if we get anything with us being separated. You know, there are 3 different spots of the war. This whole area right here was a battlefield, so you never know what you're gonna catch when you're separated. And I just think that it would be really interesting, and we'd be far away from each other to not cause any contamination within each other. But we still would have the highway. You can still hear the highway in the background, no matter where you're at. I don't know if you can see back there, I'm telling you, we're kind of in the middle of everything. There's some businesses over there. So it definitely goes to show you that you don't have to really worry about any wildlife or anything like that. It's just an area, again, that they saved, you know, from being built on, things like that. The lady that I ran into earlier said that the city had to talk a lot to find out exactly where this war happened, because the malls, you know, over there, a lot of other businesses wanted to build, so they had to make sure that they did not build on the actual battlefield site. Aftermath of the war. Once assured the Western Confederacy was not returning, Wayne marched his troops with cannon range of Fort Miamis. To assert American presence, Wayne encamped there and sent a series of letters to British Major William Campbell. After 3 days in the area, Wayne moved the U.S. Legion to Fort Defiance and eventually to Fort Wayne, burning all Native American fields, villages, and storehouses along the way. Sad. There's General Anthony Wayne. Goofy looking dude. Treaty of Greenville. Land surrendered. America faces multiple noteworthy Americans at the Battle of Fallen Timbers and the Treaty of Greenville. Perhaps you've heard of a few. William Henry Harrison, General James Wilkinson, Meriwether Lewis, and William Clark. It does say after a long winter with few supplies, deep distrust of the British, and minimal shelter, the Native Americans were left with little choice but to accept the terms of the proposed treaty. and the treaty nations retained Northwest Ohio as Indian land except for several reserves granted to the United States. One was a 12-mile square surrounding the foot of the rapids, where military and trading activities led to early settlement of Maumee and Perrysburg. The treaty opened the rest of Ohio to the United States. I mean, at least nations retained Northwest Ohio as Indian land. I mean, that's, at least they left them something, but it's still sad to me. You know, it's funny, and I don't know if it's just people getting older or whatever, but in school when I was a kid, I hated history. I couldn't stand history. I was always so bored. Now, the older that I'm getting, I'm 45, I love coming to places that are historical. I don't know if it's just because it's different. Like, maybe they should have took us on more field trips, you know, to see these places and how they really looked. Maybe it would have made it more interesting. But now I love doing, like, investigations on any type of battlefields or plantations or anything that had any historical significance in history. I took a break because of my knee. I got people like 20 years older than me walking this trail like it ain't nothing. Which would be me if my knee didn't hurt. I need my shot like ASAP. My cortisone shot. So I can walk normal again. But I had to take a break. Sitting on this thing. But I'm kind of taking in the view. It's actually really nice. It's just chill. This place is a lot bigger than it looks. Kind of waiting to get around to that bend. I was going to do a spirit box in that one section, but honestly, I'm not getting like any vibes except for at the bridge, that spot. But I haven't gotten over on that section yet. So that may change. But I feel like that bridge and that other area are pretty significant spots. Kind of like at the beginning where everything starts, which is where I think I put Mumzy in. Joy? I don't know. We're definitely going to stay as a group, you know, together in the beginning. Highway's still right behind me. But then when we separate, it'll be interesting. And actually, if it's all along the way, they got little park benches, so you could literally just sit and do your thing and chillax. This would be a good spot for Mumzy and Joy, I think. Be close to the car. Western Confederacy united 3 prominent nations, the Miami, Shawnee, and Delaware, with additional members from other nations. Chiefs like Little Turtle of the Miami, Blue Jacket of the Shawnee, and Buckingahellis of the Delaware were the primary leaders. Their strong organized alliance dealt the United States 2 major losses in 1790 and 1791. Chief Little Turtle. There were 1,100 warriors that fought at the Battle of Fallen Timbers. These warriors were from the Wyandot, Mingo, Delaware, Shawnee, Ottawa, Chippewa, and the Potawatomi. That's a painting of the Battle of Fallen Timbers. As allies, the British government supported the Western Confederacy with supplies, but did not authorize soldiers to assist in battle. For the British, the garrison at Fort Miami was strictly a defensive barrier to Wayne's march northward. The British commander was ordered not to fire on the Americans unless fired upon. However, a contingency of 60 members of the Canadian militia joined the natives' fight from there. This effort is considered by some to be Canada's first foreign engagement. Okay. Now, I cannot say in any way, shape, or form I am saying any of these names right. So, if I have not said them right, forgive me. If you want to put the right way to pronounce it in the comments, feel free. Please do so. Just don't come at me so harsh, okay? I'm doing my best. I'm not trying to disrespect any names, any tribes, anything like that. But I do know that I said the ones right that are from my area. Potawatomi, you know, things like that. So, bear with me, okay? I do have to say, considering back in that time, there was no highway. The idea that you would have to stay so quiet so nobody would hear you or know where you were. I mean, when I stop, I can hear everything. Birds, chipmunks, in the little grass. if I try to tone out the highway. I mean, I would feel like you would have to really rely on your hearing and obviously seeing. But I mean, it'd be really hard to hide here with all the trees and the bushes and leaves. It's crazy to me. I mean, like when you went to war back then, it's almost like you almost had to assume you weren't coming home. Unless you found really, really good cover somewhere. But, man, I think them guys, props, you know, because they didn't have the technology like we have today. They didn't have like drones or planes or helicopters to survey land before they posted their troops, or, you know, they didn't have any of that. So, I mean, they literally were just going off of senses, and I mean, just blows me away, actually. Not to mention their weapons, they weren't as advanced as they are today either, so they weren't dead on shots. And so it's kind of crazy to me, like, you had to almost hope to God you made that first shot, because if you didn't, as soon as you shot that gun, that arrow, they ain't gonna know where it came from, and all hell breaks loose. So you better know, I guess, you're a good shooter. You got a good eye, because I think you'd be pretty screwed if you missed. Oh, look at this. Does anybody know what these are? You know what these are? Anybody? I don't know. It's on this tree. Is that cotton? Lord, if it's cotton. Oh, Mumzy and I are going to be screwed if that's cotton. Huge allergy to that. I don't know if my honey has an allergy to cotton. I don't know what that is. That could be some type of a... I don't know. I'm not good at that kind of stuff. Comment below if you know what that is. Archaeology and artifacts. In 1995, after years of research, Dr. G. Michael Pratt led an archaeological survey on a field west of the floodplain previously believed to be the site of the battle. A successful dig turned up artifacts such as buckshot, rifle fragments, and frog-legged eagle buttons, unique to Wayne's Legion. This, combined with a 2001 detailed remote sensory survey, became conclusive proof that the Battle of Fallen Timbers took place on the site where you currently stand. So we got some buckshots. We got some Legion buttons. Pretty cool. More Legion buttons. These buttons were only worn by General Wayne's Legion from 1792 to 1796. During the archaeological dig, groupings of these buttons were found in great numbers at a location thought to be the shallow graves of fallen soldiers. My question is, where are the graves at? I'm gonna have to do some more research. This is a 1.5 mile walk. My knee hurts, but it's good exercise. I'm trying to just keep it trucking. The fact that I'm actually walking this is pretty impressive. However, I am really trying to find out where I should do the spirit box at, because I'm at the other side and I'm just not feeling it. I don't know if I would put Joy and Mumzy over here. I just don't know. I'm wondering if we should split up in 2 groups. I'm just not feeling it on this side. I don't know why. I don't know. You know, they don't have it mapped out where, like, what do you want to call them, the barracks or whatever, or which side was which side. I don't know. That lady earlier said that they fought on both sides of the water. So does that mean, like, the natives were on one side and the Confederates on the other side? Or, I don't know. I have to do some more research about this place. It's still cool. I just want to see a soldier or something. So it says here, Metro Parks of the Toledo area owns and protects Fort Miamis and Fallen Timbers Battlefield. Preserving these national treasures took years of dedication and close work with the Fallen Timbers Advisory Commission and the National Park Service to save 187 acres of land. That's pretty cool. So, I'm not going to do a spirit box here. We come back here at night, we totally will do one. But there's another spot that I want to go to that's kind of part of this. It's got an actual memorial. And we'll check that out, because maybe what we'll do is, maybe me and Fashja will be here and Joy and Mumzy will be over at the memorial. I don't know. So I'm leaving the park now. I'm right back where I started. And I think we'll go check that out. See what that looks like, see what kind of vibe I'm getting there. But this side, definitely not feeling nothing. Before I came in, and the bridge and stuff was like right up there. But this side, I didn't feel anything. Just not a vibe. I don't know. But we'll check the other location. So, be right back. Alright guys, so I just made it to the memorial. Same place. This is what I think. So, I think that the highway runs right through the battlefield. And that's why the city had to kind of check where things were. Behind me over there, I don't know if you can really see it through there, but we're going to walk up there. The memorial is right there. And if right across the highway is the actual battlefield where I just was. Literally, you can walk right across and come here. So I don't know if this is where the bodies would have been or what's going on. I'm gonna check because there is a memorial cemetery somewhere, but I'm just gonna do some more digging on this. So let's head to the actual memorial. So this walk isn't gonna be as bad. This memorial is pretty amazing, actually. I've never seen a memorial this big, but I haven't been anywhere to like see any big memorials. I think like they have some in New York and Pittsburgh, things like that. But this is how it looks from afar. It's pretty big. But we're gonna walk up here. Maybe we'll try a spirit box here. They do have some stones around here. Now this is where that Native American stone is. This is actually a really good day to be checking out this stuff because it is colder. There's not a lot of people out, which gives us a little time to kind of explore without a lot of interruptions and things like that. People ask me what the hell I'm doing. This is really neat, guys. And you're gonna see, I found out, this is where the Mumzy River is. So I think this whole section is battlefield, but you've got big mansions on each side of this memorial. Pretty cool. There's the memorial. Thing's huge. It's pretty big. Probably stands about a good 20 feet. Looks like they're looking out there. Battle of Fallen Timbers. We're gonna stop here. The memorial on the battlefield of Fallen Timbers. In unmarked graves rests the brave soldiers of General Anthony Wayne's Legion, the United States, and the Kentucky Volunteers who were killed on August 20th, 1794 in the victorious conflict with the Indians and their British allies. Killed in action, the 33. Wow, so we've got everybody's names here. And then the wounded, the corporals, privates. Wow, died of wounds, killed in action. Wow, that's pretty interesting. So they have a whole list. This memorial, we'll get to that. To Chief Little Turtle and his brave Indian warriors. So that's cool. They still put something on there for the natives, but again, we'll come back to here. Now, here is the infamous rock. In memory of all the American Indians who gave their lives at this place, including members of the following tribes: Chippewa, Ottawa, Delaware, Potawatomi, Miami, Shawnee, Mingo, and Wyandot. Dedicated August 20th, 1994, at the 200th anniversary commemoration of the Battle of Fallen Timbers. So here is the rock. This is the infamous rock, guys. I think Mumzy's gonna like this. Turkey Foot Rock. And this rock, according to tradition, Chief Turkey Foot of the Ottawa Indians rallied his warriors during the Battle of Fallen Timbers. Here he was killed, and for many years, tribesmen made offerings of tobacco on the rock to appease the Great Spirit. Now, what I heard was they had moved this rock here. I'm not really sure. Again, I'm gonna have to do some research. It does look like it was brought here and sat on this stone. So I'm not really sure. Looks like somebody put a star or a pentagram in there. I told you Ohio is known for a lot of satanic crap. So I don't know if somebody did that. If they did, shame on them. That's ridiculous. So maybe we can do something around there. Well, let's take some on this side. That says the Chief of Little Turtle and his brave Indian warriors. And I'll show you this picture here. around the whole thing. It's all gated, of course. It's a great picture. It's the back of the soldiers looking out to the Mumzy River. There's the photo. And then come around over here, onward in peace to the pioneers of Ohio and the great Northwest. We got that photo. And the Greenville Treaty. The General Anthony Wayne, who organized the Legion of the United States by order of President Washington, and defeated Chief Little Turtle's warriors here. So, and there's the front. That's pretty tall. Wish I could get closer. But it's cool that they have the Native Americans. Looks like General Washington. And I'm going to assume General Anthony. I'm going to assume that's what that is. Really cool. Neat. So the Mumzy River then would be right over there. Those cars are parked, I believe. So I'm assuming all of this was battlefield. All of this. Under the provisions of the Historic Sites Act, Department of the International Park Service, 1962. All right, so I don't know. I don't think this is a burial site. It's pretty cool that this rock has names on it. Try a spirit box. The rock's right here. See if we can get anything here. Little squirrels up in the trees. I'm gonna turn on this phone, turn on the an app. See if we'll get anything maybe on the rock itself, and then we'll try a spirit box too. See what we get. Anything pops up on here. Are there any spirits here? Any Native American spirits? Chippewa, Ottawa, Delaware, Potawatomi, Miami, Shawnee, Mingo, Wyandotte. Please come here to speak with us, please. We have 2 devices you can speak into. This one, and there's one on the rock. Haven't gotten anything on there. One day at a time. Are there any spirits here that would like to speak with me right now?
Takes you, that's helpful.
From the back.
Where are we at? Where are we? Phone calls?
Battle of Fallen Timbers. Are there any Native Americans here?
Cracking.
Cracking.
Supplies, these stores were the same. Sweet. There's one source of truth.
There's one. I'm not getting anything on here. Nothing. I'm not getting anything on that thing. I mean, that seems pretty empty. Not really sure what's going on there. Maybe try the Echo Box. We haven't used the Echo Box in a while. Are there any Native Americans here that would like to communicate with me right now? Any spirits that were in the war? Mommy. Is there anybody here that passed away at the Battle of Fallen Timbers? Or I'm not gonna know what this is saying until I get home. What is your name if you're here with me? You think that we should come back here at night to speak with you? I mean, I think history is important, don't you? Have you been to the Mumzy River before? Was native. One grave left. Did you fight in the war here? My name is Suga. Can you say that? I just want to become friends. I hope you guys are hearing this okay, and hopefully I can decipher it later. There's a lot of wind. Well, I'm from Wisconsin. Noted. Have you ever been to Wisconsin before? Twice. We had the Chippewa and the Potawatomi and up by us too. Well, I think me and my parents and my fiance are gonna come back to talk to you guys. What do you think about that? There's a trail that goes onto the water. All right, well, I'm gonna leave. I appreciate you speaking with me today. If they did. Say welcome. I appreciate you. Thank you. Well, I don't know. I mean, it sounded like we were getting some stuff, but those of you that follow us, you know, it's hard with the echo box. I have to go over, and with the way the weather is, with the wind, I don't know if you guys could hear that okay, and if I'll be able to decipher it. All right, so I don't know. Maybe Mumzy and Joy could come here. I mean, it is across from the highway, so if they did have some problems, our walkie-talkies would reach, but I guess I'd leave it up to them. I don't know. For safety, I would keep the two together, obviously. Definitely need to do some more research on this place. But do me a solid, guys. In the comments, let us know if you want us to come back here or not, if you think it would be worth us coming back here. I think I'm gonna And don't just say it because you want to see it. I know everybody wants to see it, but if you really think that we're going to have some activity here, if you really felt like you were feeling anything, comment below and let us know if you want us to come back here at night. Right now, I feel like most of the activity was on the other side. Not really sure. I'm not psychic or anything. I'm an empath, and I didn't get any major feelings. There was slight feeling, by the bridge and stuff like that, but other than that, I didn't really feel anything, even by that rock. So, but again, I don't have these major abilities to be able to tell those things. So if any of you guys can help, comment below. Let us know if you want us to see, if you want to see us come back here and do an investigation, and then we can do alone challenges and separate and see if we get something different. Obviously, I would keep Mumzy and Joy together. Yeah, let me know. Thanks for coming with. I appreciate you on this 38-degree day here in Toledo, Ohio. So we'll check you later.